Okay then guys, a quick pickled onion. Not pickled onions, pickled onion. We're using onions, not little tiny shallots, okay? So I put those to one side. I actually got a new shallot recipe coming for 2024, but that's in a couple of videos time. So for this one we need, I'm using red onions, three or four medium, smallish ones, apple cider vinegar. I'm using maple syrup instead of sugar, bit of sea salt, and some herby type spicy things. Star anise. I like these ones, telly cherry black peppercorns, a bay leaf, and coriander seeds. It's about 6 each of the seeds and 1 star anise. And again, these are from Spices on the Web, great supplier, I love them. Now, a bit unusual this one, we start off making the cooking liquor, or the brine, but all we're really trying to do is get the salt dissolved, and if you're using ordinary sugar, get the sugar dissolved. So I think the first thing to do is to put the chopping board there, get all these ingredients over here so I know I've used them. I tend to try to work right to left or left to right, and when there's nothing left, I know the recipe's done. You know? Doesn't always work, mind, I usually forget something. This is 350ml apple cider vinegar. I'm going to put 300 in, but I may put it all in. We'll have to see how it goes. I'll save a bit in case I need to top the jar up, and I'll show you what I'm doing with the jar later on. Right, 1 star anise. Now we're warming up. Right, half a dozen or so coriander seeds. That's them used and them used. Half a dozen black peppercorns, corns or so. Doesn't matter if there's a few extra. Tablespoon of salt, generous tablespoon, and a tablespoon of either sugar or maple syrup. I'm using maple syrup for this. Just be a bit different. Live life on the edge, you know what I mean? So about a tablespoon, no, tablespoon and a half. Be careful though, because maple syrup can tend to be more sweet or sweeter than sugar. So sweeter than sugar. And apart from the onions, that is it. We're just going to wait for the salt to dissolve. Typically the sun's come right out dead bright. And we would be waiting for the sugar to dissolve if there was sugar in there. It smells like a pickle already. You'd be worried if it smelled like apple crumble, wouldn't you? There we are. That'll do. Heat off, set that to one side. I'll put it down here out the way. Right, what I like to do when I got dirty old onions like this, well, any onions really, I don't want the skins in whatever I'm cooking. So I top and tail them. Take the outer skin off. There we are. Set them one side and then do them all in one go. And when I've got all the onions top, tailed and peeled, I like to wipe the board down, get rid of any dirt and little bits of peel that are lying around, little bits of skin, sorry, and then start chopping or slicing. Now what I'm doing with these, you'll notice I've got a colander. So what I'm doing with these, I'm making onion rings. Don't forget to wipe the knife down as well, because there's bits of skin stuck on that. Right in. Nice thin onion rings. Mostly onion rings, there's a few odd shapes in there, but it doesn't matter. Right. I'll do. Right, like I say, break all these up. Okay then, there's the onions, a kettle of boiling water, container, and hence the colander. And all we're going to do now is just pour the boiling water from the kettle over onions. Watch your fingers, guys. Surprising how that water is changing colour. I'll show you in a second. Right, let those cool down a bit. Can you see that? Let's get a bit of paper just so you can see the colour. See the colour? Well, it's taken out a lot of whatever it's taken out. I'll use that in a second. Water me runner beans. Waste not, want not. Right, we got a freshly sterilised jar. New seal. New seal. Always use a new seal if you can. These are good, these Kilner ones. I've got Kilner, I've got Tilda. Prefer the Kilner ones because they got stainless steel fittings. The Kilner ones are galvanised and they tend to go a little bit rusty. So what we're going to do is, when these are cooled down a bit, like now, we're just going to pack them in. Oh, they haven't cooled down enough yet. Really get them in there. Now what I'm going to do now, okay, halfway through, I'm going to rescue the big bits. In fact, I might just break that into two, that's a bit big. 2 or 3. And the star anise, wherever that is. There we are. In with a little bit of the brine or liquor. Just to see how we're doing, that's all. And pack the rest in. Now, what I was going to say is, if you don't want to use one big jar, you can use loads of little jars, but break the star anise up so there's a piece in each jar. And when we come to getting the peppercorns and coriander seeds out, you should make sure you put 1 or 2 in each jar. But I'm going to do it for myself now. If I was giving them as gifts, I'd do it like that. And I think we're going to have too many onions here. I don't know, actually. No, we're not. Break them up. Oh, I tell you what, you know, we're just about right. 4 onions. I reckon, you know, that ain't far off. I've got a few nice little rings I'm going to put on top. And that's all we got left, look. Pretty good. Right, so in with the rest of the liquor. I'm going to wipe my hands again. That is almost perfect. So about 300 ml of apple cider vinegar, 4 onions, 1 500 ml jar, and it's in there. Clean the seal, clean the top. Let's wipe the top down. Jar's still warm, actually. There we are, sealed. Quick label now. Leave this for, gonna sound daft this, but that is ready for eating. That is ready for trying in 2 hours, but it will keep for 6 months. But once you open it, in the fridge and use within 2 weeks. So next thing is a label. Now the only thing wrong with these Kilner jars is it's a bit awkward to get my labels on. But I'll be back in a sec with the label. And one thing I forgot to do is give it a little taste. Yeah, the trouble with these Kilner jars, they got a curve to them, but doesn't matter. The Tilda ones have got flat facets. If I was making this for a show, I'd get smaller labels, but I'm not. This is for you guys. So here we are then. 1 500 ml jar of quick pickled onion, not pickled onions, which probably should be called pickled shallots, but that's another subject. So yeah, nice and pink. Love them, love them, love them. Look at that. Okay then, what is next?